One of the biggest questions I often get asked, both in YouTube comments and in real life, is how much difference does buying expensive golf clubs make as opposed to using cheap ones? Well, in this video, I'm going to compare a Decathlon starter set iron that costs £25 per club against a Callaway Apex TCB iron that isn't a starter club and costs £150 each. I'm going to do it now. Hi everyone, my name's James Robinson and welcome to this YouTube channel. Yes, that's right, in today's video I'm testing a Callaway Apex TCB iron, which are rather expensive, against a Decathlon Intersys 100 iron, which isn't very expensive at all. Now guys, get in the comments below, what do you expect to see from this video? Is the Callaway going to go further? Is the Intersys going to go further? And which iron, maybe even more importantly than that, is going to be more value for money? You'll see that the Intersys 100 is a 6/7 iron, because it's only coming in a half set. This is a beginner set with a graphite shaft. And the Callaway is just a standard Apex TCB 7 iron. Now I'm going to talk through what Decathlon say about those beginner sets in a second. But first of all, let's hit some Callaways. I mean, that's just a wonderful start. They are the exact numbers I would expect for a 7 iron, 165 yards, spinning just shy of 6,000, and a nice high fade. Can we finish here? That's like perfect. Now my logic behind this video is that so many people have just started to play golf, are just starting to play golf. And you all ask, James, do I need to go and spend £1,000 on a set of irons? Now, you might want to do that, but I don't think you have to. Because let's be fair, even at the moment, custom fitting isn't as accessible as it used to be. It's not as easy to go and get custom fit for a set of brand new irons and then get them delivered to your pro shop, make sure that they are right for you, and go out on the golf course and play. It used to be so simple, but not anymore. Right, par 3, 167 we'll say. Oh wow. You know when you see the guys do this on Instagram and you're like, nah, that can't be right. We'll take a bit of that. This test already has me thinking that I may be using the wrong golf clubs this year. Now saying that about custom fitting, one thing that you can do online, if you do know your custom fitting specs, most places will allow you to order it a couple of degrees upright, a couple of degrees flat, half an inch longer, half an inch shorter, with the correct shaft in there for you, if they have them in stock. I know stock at the moment isn't the easiest thing to come across. Now the only reason I'm using these Callaway clubs is that, one second, oh that's left. It's the same distance, it's not that bad actually. Now the only reason that I'm using the Callaway TCB Apex irons is that it seems like a nice middle ground for an iron. It's not the most expensive, it's not the cheapest big name iron, it's not a blade, it's not a big cavity back, but it's a tall cavity back. But for me, it sits around in the middle of the range, not only in Callaway's irons, but in other big brand irons as well. Now, when you do pay big money for irons and big money for golf clubs, it's not just about the performance, it's not just about the numbers, it is about the aesthetics, it's about how they make you feel, it's about how they do feel, and a lot of it's about how they sound as well. And these sound particularly good. Right, we're going to go one more with the Callaway, then we'll move into the Decathlon Intersys 100, the £25 specials. That's just another wonderful iron shot. What a day. Guys, comment below something, say hello. Right, now I mentioned about aesthetics and I mentioned about how good looking the Callaway irons are. Now beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but yeah, that doesn't look overly beautiful, does it? But then in fairness, I suppose, if you are just getting into golf, or even if you just want a cheap set of golf clubs, you don't get a full set in these. That's why this is a 6/7 iron. That's why you do get half a set. And I've been using half a set recently because I quite enjoy it. I like having to manufacture shots. How far is this going to go? Guys, comment below. Is this going to go the same distance? Intersys 100. Wow, how good is that? 182 yards. Definitely didn't feel as good. Definitely didn't get that acoustic feedback. I was trying to think of the word then. I definitely can't argue with that as a first shot for the Decathlon golf clubs. Now Decathlon say that these golf clubs' benefits are ease of use, they have an enlarged head to make it easier to position the club and to get the ball in the air. Fair enough. They're lightweight, so the clubs are easy to help you perform and swing easily, especially if you are a beginner. Yep, fair enough, they are pretty lightweight. And they also have an ergonomic grip. 3 rows of markings on the grip makes hand placement easier. Now that's something which I didn't even think about. They've almost taken that from the pin grips, but that actually works quite nice. Decathlon also going to say that the loft of a 6 or 7 iron isn't standardised. There is no industry standard, so that's why they're saying this is a 6/7 iron. Some 7 irons in some sets have the same loft as a 6 iron in other sets, and that's why I've just chosen the Callaway 7 iron, because it's just right in the middle. And people saying, well, why aren't you using a 6 iron for this test? That may be the same loft as that Callaway 7 iron, who knows? Well, we could know if we found out, but second shot. That is so good. It is really, really good. £25. Now, if I was getting into golf, or if I was getting someone into golf, i.e. Laura is my soon-to-be wife, and she's trying to get into golf a little bit. So I have just given her these for a little bit when she does want to go and play. You can see that's why it's maybe looking a little bit worn. If I'd have given her a set of £1,000 clubs, which we could have done because we're lucky to get clubs to test, she'd be like, well, first of all, I don't really want to hit them in case I mark them, and they do look a little bit shiny and precious. When she tested my dad's TSI-1 driver, she actually roofed it a couple of times, and she's never really recovered from that psychologically. So giving them something that's £25 to replace if you do break it, if it does kind of get damaged, isn't a bad way to do things. Wow, that is on the line. It's 181 yards. Look how straight that is. Oh. So guys, make sure you do stay tuned right to the end of this video, because we're going to compare these for distance, for spin, for all the rest of the numbers that you do want to see. And it's not necessarily which one's gone the furthest wins, because there might be a difference in loft angle, there will be a difference in shaft, especially this being graphite and this being stiff. It's more about how consistent are they over that 10 to 15 shots that we're going to hit. I'm not going to make you watch all of them, but if we keep hitting it like this, that's the one that I would worry about. It's still coming back though. Oh, wonderful. Now, the cheaper club doesn't look as good as the Callaway, doesn't feel as good as the Callaway, and it sure as hell doesn't sound as good as the Callaway. But there's a certain charm about it that I really like. And also these aren't really anything to be sniffed at, are they? I mean, that's not bad for £25. £25. How much are they? Comment below. 25. Right. It's just delightful. That's 5 shots hit with a £25 Decathlon Innosus 100 and 5 shots hit with a £149, over £1,000 a set Callaway Apex TCB irons. I'm going to hit a couple more. Guys, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how much the difference is in relation to how much these clubs cost. And I know you don't want to miss that. Wow. Now, this £25 golf club has just got better and better and better throughout the test. So how's it performed? Especially against a club which, let's be fair, looks wonderful, feels great, performs good, it's just a bit expensive. Let's take a look. Now, dispersion-wise, you really can't argue at that over 10 shots. You'll see that last one was nearly 100, well, it was 190 yards, and it was just wonderful. We'll look at the dispersion of the Callaway. Not too bad, a little bit left. I think the lie angle could take care of that if we did get properly fitted. But both of those, quite good and quite consistent. I think the Decathlon Special is really standing up to its own there. What about the numbers? Rather than looking at averages, let's look at all of them. So this is a Decathlon, and you'll see here 182, 185, 181, 176, 179, 182, 184, 173, 195 and 189. That shows a couple of inconsistencies. I definitely felt like I struck this pretty consistently, and we have an average of 183, which isn't bad at all for a £25 golf club. Spin rates, as you can see there, if we average them, 5.5, 5, 6, 1, 6, 8, 5, 3, 5, 6, 5, 1, 5, 6, 4, 6, and 5127. Now that's really where you are seeing most of the inconsistencies. That and ball speed generated as well in relation to the club head speed. Again, for £25, if I gave someone that club and said, go and play a par 3 course, I really don't think I'd have too much of a problem there. Now, if we look at the Callaway, and remember, we're not going to say that the longest club wins because that doesn't make a lot of sense looking at the two golf clubs. I want to see the differences in consistency, because that's generally what the better player or the more established player might be looking at when spending that amount of money, together with look, sound and feel, which I'll come to in a minute. So it felt like quite a fair test. I definitely feel like I struck these really consistently actually. 165 is a normal number for me. 165, 159, 167, 167, 166, 165. You can see there's not a lot in that, and then I saved the best one till last, even though that was a bit of a pull. We've got an average of exactly 165 yards, which is quite mental, and an average spin of 5,730. Now the spin numbers on the Callaway, a little bit more consistent, all around the 5.5s and 6s. You can see there were a couple of mega low spin ones in there. Generally, I've got more consistency with the more expensive club, with the Callaway club. Now, that's not to say that these aren't great clubs for beginner golfers. In fact, that's what I want this video to be about. I want, if you are thinking about getting into golf, if you haven't got the budget to go and buy mega expensive golf clubs, please don't let that put you off. We've shown here that for £25, I can hit a golf club pretty well. Yes, working on the course is a totally different matter altogether, but I think that's a fantastic golf club for £25. If you are more established, if you are looking at playing your best possible golf, consistency is key, and the build quality of the more expensive club will outshine the cheaper one in time as well. So there's that to think about as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that insightful video. If you have, smash that subscribe button. I'll see you tomorrow.